What's up, Raider Nation? This is another episode of Raiders World. I am Mrradillo back, and we are going to break down the first preseason game. It was a loss. Final score was 27 Cardinals, 14 Raiders. Um, the starters for the offense played the first series, and Kirk Cousins. Let's look at his stat line here. Kirk Cousins was 5 for 6 for 50 yards and a TD with a looks like QBR rating of 141. And then we had Fernando Mendoza. Oh, excuse me. Before we get there, that was a really efficient first drive. I didn't get to, I watched after like at the end of that first drive, and then I went back and watched it. But Kirk Cousins looked good. Um, I know people have been talking about like Fernando Mendoza's arm versus Kirk Cousins. Obviously, Fernando has the better arm now because Kirk Cousins is aging in his career, but he can run an offense. He can be efficient, and that is what Clint Kubiak is looking for. So I am excited or okay with if Kirk Cousins is the one starting rather than Fernando Mendoza at the beginning of the year. Fernando is the future, and we'll talk about him in a second. And I'm excited about that future, and he will get the torch pass when he fully takes that job. See, what's interesting now is from press conference, Clint Kubiak already kind of was saying that it's Kirk Cousins' job to lose. So they're really happy with how Fernando looked, but he's still a rookie. He still has rookie things that he did, but he still looked phenomenal. That was a Michael Mayer looked legit. Brock Bowers wasn't playing. So I'm curious how both of them will look in the offense. I think this team is going to be like their offense looked really good, even with Fernando Mendoza in there. Even though Fernando Mendoza he's looking like a 5-year vet out there, still had some rookie stuff, and he's going to. But I wanted to read some quotes for the day. But before that, let's get into Fernando Mendoza. He was 10 for 16, 97 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 sack for a QB rating of 100.3. Very good. Then we had, let's see, running backs. Ashton Genty had 3 carries for 16 yards. Looked good. 5.3 yards per carry, and his longest was 10-yard carry. Mike Washington, the big back out of Arkansas, flashes to run DMC to Darren McFadden, and he blew off that 50-yard run, or 53-yard run. He had 6 carries, 63 yards at 10.5 yards per carry. That backfield is going to be legit. I'm actually really pumped. We had Dylan Labe take some snaps. Also, Aiden O'Connell was after Kirk Cousins. Aiden O'Connell. I don't. I think he gets cut. To be frank, I don't think they keep him. I think they either trade him if they can get something at maybe like a 6th or 7th round pick, or they just kind of let him loose. Um, I just don't think he fits in the system. He was 4 for 13, 85 yards, 1 sack, 55 QB rating. He just doesn't move the offense, and he's out there with third stringers, so that could also be the case. But I just don't. I don't think he is. He's a serviceable backup when you're in a pinch, but I don't think he. I don't think he has anything. I don't think he has long of a future. Excuse me, with the Raiders. You could disagree. That's fine. But back to the running backs. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump around here. Dylan Labe, after was the third string back. He had 5 carries, 11 yards, 2.2 yards per carry, with the longest of 8 yards. Then we had Roman Hembe got some burn with 3 carries, 7 yards, 2.3 yards per carry, and then 8 yards is his longest. Then we got Fernando Mendoza. Fernando's running. Okay, that was one thing about Fernando Mendoza, that he is legit. I'm cool with him wanting to extend plays. I like that mentality. But again, I don't want our franchise to get hurt. So I don't want him to continuing to go down that rabbit hole of like maybe a Jaden Daniels or RG3 where they're mobile, and it's a different QB because Fernando Mendoza is big. He's a big guy, and so he can take those hits. It's more like a Josh Allen, And sometimes Josh Allen, like, he makes crazy plays, and I think Fernando Mendoza can do that as well. But I don't want him to do that all the time. You know what I mean? So he needs to rein that in. It's preseason. I like the fight. And we'll read some quotes after we go through this stat lines. Receiving, EJ Williams Jr. Okay, I don't know how this is broken down. We can't sort it. But the most catches was Jack Betch with 3 receptions, 25 yards, 8.3 yards per catch with a touchdown. That was Fernando Mendoza's touchdown. Fernando Mendoza threw that thing quick. He got it. I'm really happy that Jack Betch. I don't know how you say his name. It's Betch, or I think it's Besh. Um, I'm happy that he had a resurgence. He was quiet out of camp so far, but in the game he turned it on and showed out. And I think he has a bright future in this organization. It's almost like he got a full year, but he didn't get to play much last year. So it's almost like it's his rookie year as well. But anyways, he had flashes, and then we had a couple. Malik Benson had some flashes as well for 2 catches, 26 yards. And then we had Michael Mayer, 2 catches, 19 yards. Trey Tucker had 2 catches as well with 21 yards. No running. Yeah, okay. So, and then it looks like the ball was dispersed fairly well because we have EJ Williams getting a catch, Shedrick Jackson, Brandon Johnson, Dylan Labe, Philip Dorsett, Chase Roberts, Derek Young, Albert Okowigamome, excuse me, Devin Tompkins, Ian Thomas. All of those each got a catch, so that's pretty good. And then there was Philip Dorsett had 6 targets, but didn't catch a lot of those targets, or they weren't thrown well. The defense was straight atrocious. No pressure. Like, the Cardinals completed every single pass in the first half. Like, and there's been some press conferences that they were playing man to kind of see what they wanted to see out of them. So there wasn't a lot of scheme happening. But still, it was not fun to see them just being Swiss cheese out there and letting everything go through. There was some Jermod McCoy actually got to play a good significant amount. So that is promising. It doesn't look like that knee is going to slow him down. And although it's the first preseason game, he got a lot of snaps though. But he also was kind of a liability. But there's a lot of young guys, so I think they're trying to get them as much burn. Not a lot of pressure, and since they've made a move, they signed who they do. Raiders signed the D tackle. Okay, Raiders signed Florenzo Futukasi. They signed him. He was on the Texans the last 2 years. So obviously they seen that we didn't have pressure, so they made a corresponding move. It sounds like Vita Vea is not going to happen. They're not going to bring them in. But I think this defense has a good amount to go still. So I'm not, and I don't think Max Crosby even played a snap. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys know, but it doesn't sound like he did play a snap. But yeah, our cornerbacks didn't have much going on. I think the first team was out after the first drive of the Cardinals. I don't think they played a lot. They played a lot of younger guys. Tried to get them some reps. So yeah, I think it overall though, the defense. I'm curious to see how they respond back next preseason game, and see if it's just a better, crisp performance. Because as that first game, it's the first. We have a while to go for that defense. Offense looked good. Looked like it could still move the ball. Looked like it was going to be competitive this season. But the defense, it left me lacking. Left me wanting more. But here are some quotes from a couple press conferences, and I'm just going to read some of them. This is Clint Kubiak on Fernando Mendoza on his quarterback. He said, "I think the thing that just stood out for me again is that we put a lot on his plate, and all the quarterbacks played getting ready for the preseason game, and he went out and executed the way he does in practice. Some guys, they get to the game and things change on them. It moves fast and they freak out. He was opposite. He was very calm. He was getting the calls in. He was seeing coverage well. I like the way that he moved in the pocket. He got outside and extended some plays. Yeah, he was he looked like a seasoned vet out there as far as how he responded, how he was making calls, he was calling protection. Like this guy is a worker and he has right attitude. Even Fernando Mendoza, what he said, and let me see if I can find that quote. He basically insinuated that he let his team down.
And then overall, I felt that the group that I was in with, they blocked fantastic. They had great routes. The run game was good. And unfortunately, like I let my teammates down today, but it's a growing experience, and I feel like we're all growing, and it showed me that I need to grow a lot.
He said that he let his teammates down because he didn't play how he wanted to do, and that's something you love. You love your quarterback to always want to improve because there's something that you can improve on every single aspect, right? Whether it's protection, whether it's a throw, whether it's executing perfectly, right? You're never going to be perfect, so there's always room for improvement. But this is a fun game. I enjoyed watching it. It's so awesome that football is back. But I don't know. I could get to the point to where I think Fernando Mendoza steals this job from Kirk Cousins, a la maybe Derek Carr, when Matt Flynn, when he became the QB. That may happen here. I don't know per se, and I'm also okay if he doesn't do that. If he's not ready and doesn't take this job from Kirk Cousins, that's okay too. He's a rookie. He's learning. They want to be patient with him. They want the team to be legitimate with him so he doesn't get hurt or may be made to look bad, and he just executes what they have him execute. There's a lot of hope on this offense. Like these running backs, these tight ends, receivers, if we can get a little bit more out of Jack Besh and Trey Tucker, excuse me, I was going to say Tucker Carlson. Completely different people. And then we have Jalen Naylor. It looked very easy. Scheme is going to be a big difference. The O-line was vastly improved. And like we've said, we didn't think the O-line, at least I didn't, was as bad as they were playing last year. I think they had zero direction on what they were supposed to do. The scheme, like, it was a mess last year. And I don't think they played to the level that they could have. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a fun year. We're going to be competitive in a lot of games, but I think we're not going to be competing for a championship, right? We're not going to be in the playoff hunt. If we are, like, that means Fernando Mendoza is balling out. He has taken the reins and he is willing this team further. And I think he's the real deal. Like, watching that game, watching how he just is calm under pressure, how he can handle it, and how he expects so much from himself. Like, I honestly think he's going to be great. And I'm so glad that we drafted him number 1 overall. He looked like the number 1 overall draft pick. And I don't think the league is ready for the Raiders to get good, the Raiders to be legitimate, but we are on our track. Clint Kubiak, great hire. It was just awesome. It was awesome. I'm pumped to watch this team move forward, and that's just kind of my reaction. Didn't like that we lost, but it's preseason, so it doesn't really matter. But it does for these guys. It does for solidifying spots, for getting more time, and seeing where we're at currently. You know what I mean? Like, this does matter. It's not like it doesn't matter to the record of the season, right? But these games do matter. These snaps do matter, and I'm really just happy with the direction of this. First, this is Fernando Mendoza talking about coming into the NFL. First, I want to thank God again. Love that he, as soon as he came out of the tunnel with his uniform on, stopped and gave a prayer to God. I think that's awesome. Great role model. He wants to thank his teammates and coaches for allowing me the opportunity. Today was an invigorating experience where, There's not many moments where you feel fully alive, and on the field you feel fully alive, especially in the NFL atmosphere. So I want to give thanks to that. It was great to get out there, get my feet wet, especially the first drive. I felt a little sped up because so much anticipation and excitement. However, I feel like my teammates around me protected me very well, and they helped me. They helped slow me down, and I think it was a good experience. I just love this kid. This kid's mature. He's going to be great, and I'm excited to see that rise. But yes, this is kind of my thoughts. Very positive. Negatives. My positives are Fernando Mendoza, all the rookies. The offense looks great. It looks like we are on the right trajectory in that sense. Negatives would be defense. We didn't stop anything, but it was very vanilla again. So maybe we will improve. And I'm just curious to think about this week of practices and then this next game, how that's going to flow. And here we go. We're ready for the 2026 season. Go away.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering.